Okay, guys. Today, doodle. Uh, I remember from yesterday. The last one was yesterday. Today is March 27th, 2021. So there we go. Okay, I am in the same cafe, having got some other thing. This is going to be the official notes have been taken recap of most stuff that's been going on. I might chop this to 2 videos because there's a lot. But most of it's actually pretty short summary. I'm just like, oh, this. So let's get started. Okay, recap. Well, for most of 2020, I was in Thailand, as you know. They kept extending our amnesty, so that was nice. Kind of stressful because they would only decide on, oh yeah, you can stay like a week before all of us had to be out. So there was like that constant tension, but it was rocking of them during COVID to be like, all right, you can stay another month, you can stay another month. So that was good. I had gone to Thailand from Belgrade, and when amnesty was over, I was like, I looked at the options of places you can go to, and I popped back to Belgrade because Serbia was like, we don't give a fuck. And so I went to the same place, same hostel as I had been helping out in, and saw some old friends, made some new ones, which has been awesome. A couple of which I keep in touch with, and when I just pop up to Belgrade at the beginning of this month, I got to see one of them, and it was totally nice. It was groovy. So when I was there in Belgrade, before coming here to Tirane, I had started learning Albanian, and it was going really well. Really well. Very happy with it. I was very scared because Serbian was a nightmare. Friends there tried to teach me when I was first working there, and they just eventually told me to give the fuck up, essentially. Albanian has been way more help, way more easy, much easier. So I was very excited about that, working daily on it. I then, once I got here, basically slacked on it, and that's been pretty. I mean, I picked up, like I said yesterday, I'm not going to repeat a whole bunch of that. You can go to that video if you're curious and didn't watch it, but I slacked off really hardcore for the past couple of months, and I had an awesome day yesterday where I'm like, I'm getting back to it. So I spent, after the video yesterday, a bunch of time finding what learning site I had been on, the conjugation site that I'd been on, using Google Translate to, like, you know, do my method of learning, which I can't do, like the learn your ABCs, learn your 1, 2, 3s. You know, I need to like hop in and like start learning immediately, you know, how to form sentences, how to conjugate specific verbs. You know, I have to learn it in that the using way rather than the, you know, primary school way. So that has restarted. When I had first gotten back to Belgrade, I had started a daily routine of every morning I would go to a nearby cafe, and I would either relax or do work on my doodles and stuff, and I have kept with that. Once I got here, I hunted down a cafe that has it's a vegan place, and whether I've been here or when I hopped back to Belgrade, I keep every morning except for when they're closed, obviously. Here it's every Sunday. There it's like, depends on restrictions. I go every morning, get cappuccino, get breakfast, and I spend a few hours doing things to relax and working on doodles. And there's some other online work that I've been doing that, you know, I've been, I either work or play in the morning, and it's usually a mix of both. But it's just something to keep myself on a set routine, to keep myself getting up and doing a pattern every day. And also doing something healthy for myself, something either just self-care or productive. And that has worked out to a lot of doodles this year, which has been fun. I'm still working on that drawing in between doodles and just life in general, because I said I was going to do like a real drawing. That's been going on for months because I just work on it in like chunks. Otherwise I get entirely too, if you know me, I get way too focused on something to where it's not healthy, so I've been kind of chunking that up. Let's see. Yeah, I continued focused in Belgrade, and then here with what I started in Thailand as far as working better on my singing and doing more of my doodling. And that's been very satisfying, very relaxing and fun. Let's see, also I decided getting here that I needed in Belgrade and then here to start actively listening to music again, because a lot of times like I have YouTube on in the background or something, but it wasn't always music. It would be like, like, I don't know, comedy or news or astrophysics or like just something entertaining, and not like, but it was all background. I wasn't like actively engaging with music, which is something that I really had missed. And so I started devoting time to that, whether it was just laying down with headphones or putting it on while I was showering or, whatever, just re-immersing myself in something that was really good for me. And what else have I done? I had really slacked off on my stretching and stuff, and with being in these closer quarters of the hostel and then my little studio that I'm renting here, not a lot of space to do a whole lot of stretching, but I've added the stretching back the past few days because I'm getting the migraines more often, and just in general my body has been very, so the past few days I started stretching more and more, and it's as satisfying as usual, and so I'm starting that pattern again. I really like that. That's another thing that's good for me. Let's see, I moved actually from Belgrade to Tirane just before Christmas, and spent Christmas in the first studio that was owned by this landlord, and then moved to the second studio that I'm in right now, that's shown around, that I quite like. Very, very tiny, very a good size for me, very nice place. The landlord is a very nice guy. Like I said, him and his family are very helpful. Over the holidays, I had a problem with like the big ass window in the kitchen. One of the opens, the two panes like doors, and one like the top hinge like just like went, and luckily I was there to grab it, and it was over the holidays, but they were like right there to his father came and they brought a dude to fix it, and they put the window back together, and then my bathroom light went out the other day, and they were like on it to fix it, and they've just been really great as far as like the landlordy stuff, but also very nice people. The landlord himself, we've met out for tea once. We're going to do that later tonight. He's been terribly, terribly helpful with me getting some packages. I only expected to get one or two while I was here, max, but I've ended up getting a few more, and some of them have been very convenient, and some of them he's really had to help me with, and so that's been super, super helpful, super sweet. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we're at 9 minutes and 30 seconds. COVID-related things. Well, while I was here, since I was going to be here for a year anywho, that was the give or take a little plan, I figured I would start temporary residency because it only takes 5 years of temporary residency to put in for permanent here. And if I'm going to be slowed down by COVID, I might as well make the most of it. And Americans can often get the 5-year temporary visa immediately rather than doing it 1 year by 1 year. So I was like, you know? And, but the paperwork that is needed is very small amount, which is another nice thing. But without being able to be back in the United States, this is very difficult and convoluted because I need, well, really, I only need my birth certificate and my name change paperwork, but I need them with apostilles attached to each. And I've tried getting my birth certificates with them, and I have had those arrive, but they didn't come with the apostille. So I was like, okay. So I look online, and they're like, oh, well, you know, in that case, you need to send it back to us with, you know, self-addressed stamped envelope, and we'll attach it and send it back to you. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And then my name change paperwork, I would have to get it. I have copies in Grant's attic, but I'm hesitant to be like, hey, can you go upstairs and like go through this particular tub to get this particular file folder to get this particular piece of paper, you know? I have a copy of it here, but I don't think they're gonna like, you know, let me Xerox this fucker and then send it off, you know. Basically what I have to do is either bug Grant to have it mailed to New York City for me to get an apostille to be mailed to me, or I need to somehow get New York City to reissue one where they'll mail it to me. I have to mail it back for an apostille, then they mail it back to me. Again, all this self-addressed stamped envelope. And I just went, you know, I mean, you know what that sounds like. So that kind of didn't really happen. But they allow us to stay here for a very long time as it is. So instead of getting my temporary residency started, I'm just sort of doing my thing here. So it's been postponed. Want to accomplish the paperwork. Because production has been slowed from COVID, my laptop is still sitting in one location, this time still on my kitchen table, slowly disintegrating. You gotta be careful not to move the open back at all or slide it around too much. And it's a little moody now and then. But there's supposed to be a replacement exchange way back. But everything got slowed down, as everybody knows. And then on top of that, shipping was, you know, an issue. And so that I'm still waiting on. My computer's still falling apart, but I'm, you know, keeping going with what I have. My real phone died, which thankfully I had a super cheapy phone that I had ordered before and had sent to me. And that's what I'm using currently to get by with life. And the only good thing to say about it is, well, I'm waiting from the same people as my computer a phone, but again, production issues slowed. So don't know when that's going to be done and arriving. Or just all, you know how the world's going. So the thing about the cheapy phone is it's kind of sucky, but it has a dual SIM, which if I have to like break down and get like a real phone before the proper phone is like finished and sent to me, I can't see myself willingly going back to a single SIM because I have Google Fi for my regular, and you know, regularly when I change country, I need to get a local SIM. Not because Google Fi doesn't work like nearly everywhere, but it's usually much cheaper to get data with a local SIM. Like right now, I'm paying like $18 a month for 20 gig, which is significantly better than Google and other companies that I can get, you know, travelable phone service from US. So, and of course it gives me a local number anywhere that I go when I get a local SIM, which is very, very, very useful. So I can't see myself doing that. We're at 15 minutes. I'm going to finish up in 20. Some other things are with the doodling. I've opened a mask store using my doodles as the designs, and it's been not at all lucrative, but very fun. I really enjoy seeing my stuff on the masks, and I buy a bunch of them just for me. Yeah, I think they're cute. But yeah, I've done that, and I keep working on that. That's one of the things that I do in the mornings, is on top of doodling, sometimes I'll update that and stuff. My own personal collection is ever growing. Most recent one is the Kennedy sent us all a link for a animal shelter that had t-shirts and masks and stuff being sold, but also portions of it went to donations to different, you know, arrangements. And one of the things that I got a couple things that gave donations, and I can't remember if this was one of them or one of the ones that didn't, but I got a mask from that, which has like this sort of cat on it. It's black and white, and it says claws, and it's cat lovers against white supremacy. It's very cute. I don't have it with me, or I'd show it, but it's a really nice mask. It's really adorable. There's the vaccine thing. I am thrilled that vaccines coming around, several of them, and that people are, especially friends and family, because, you know, of course, that's who we really care the most about, including myself, absolutely. I'm really glad that a lot of them have been able to get their vaccinations, or at least on the first shot, and moving towards the second. So that's freaking awesome. But as I've expressed to other people, for me personally, it's going to be a while, because between a mix of things that happened in the army, the fact that I've had COVID, and, well, I've been in places that aren't as scary as the US as far as COVID goes. I'm in much safer environments that I don't have that pressing need, and so I'm using all of the rest of these guinea pigs. Asps, very dangerous, you go first, essentially. I've addressed this before, that I've felt both very lucky and blessed, as well as kind of like a dick, being in places that are safer during COVID, and being able to do, even though it's been so very much less, at least still being able to go to a different country and, you know, interact with people more, and, you know, I'm very thankful for that, but at the same time, knowing what other people are going through, it feels really, really dickish to, every time I like put up a picture, or I try not to even talk about it, because it's just like, you know, you know. On that same note, I have been going to various friends kind of going, so you can work remotely in here? You never go to your office? You only contact your coworkers through the computer? This may or may not change anytime in the next year, starting in this year. I'm like, why don't you just like hop overseas? You can always go back. But life is cheaper and safer. But of course, you know, I don't get on anybody's back about that, but I'm like, think about it. I'll help, you know. But yeah, no. Yeah, that's well, we're at 20 minutes and that's most things, so I'll just go over the rest of them pretty quickly. Tirane itself, quite lovely. The people are very friendly. The big park is just gorgeous. I look forward to many warmer days of getting out to go there. Also, you know, when it gets proper warm, being able to do the hiking and stuff that I've mentioned. There haven't been a lot for video and pics and stuff here. I mean, I've taken some and then Google wouldn't upload them for some reason. They just sort of stayed in Google limbo of constantly uploading for days and days and days without ever, well, not quite true. They would upload them and then do the processing on YouTube for forever. And there's nothing different from them, how I recorded them and things, than ones that go up just fine. So again, a chunk of stuff that I have actually recorded has not gone on this channel. But there hasn't been much to show compared to like normal life because COVID restrictions. You know, there's less you can do, there's less time you can do, you know, there's less places you can go. That's just life. And so I've been trying to kind of, you know, get what I can, and, you know, but I've been much more boring than even usual. I have been doing my daily Grumpy Cat isolation update since I started in Thailand. Yesterday was the official 1 year mark of 365 days of doing the Grumpy Cat isolation updates, and I did a big collage of all the pictures from the last year with Grumpy Cat looking at them, and I'm very proud of this. It was a fuck ton of work. Makes me a little sad. People don't love it as much as I do, but you move on with life. But yeah, and that's another one of those things that I've tried to keep myself into a habit and a steady thing, is that every day, no matter what, I do a Grumpy Cat update. And so that was quite the achievement just to get to the 355 days. Then also to make the big thing for it. It took more than like a week, a little bit more than a week, and I was very happy about it. I'm still having to make border runs for medications that don't exist here in Albania. Thankfully, most of them do. But there's a couple that are very important, like my Ambien, that aren't here. And so I've been having to make do with what sleep meds they do have here, which, so lately I have had Ambien, and thanks to having it back, I have been getting some sleep, and that has made me be able to get up in the morning awake and able to style myself up. I've been doing some makeup and different things because I'm actually sleeping. Let's see, the border runs are a hassle. Financially, they, you know, even though I have to pay for the round trip flights and the hostel stay while I'm still paying for my space here, financially it still works out really well. It's, you know, it's just one of those things that you have to do. Dyed my hair green, like you've seen before. I slacked on my Albanian learning, which I talked about before, and this is the last thing. I slacked on my Albanian learning, and yesterday had a fucking awesome experience that I talked about, where I am super jazzed about that, and I started going back over it and I looked up all the stuff that I needed to look up and doing it again. So that's good. And that's everything. Things haven't been very exciting because things haven't been very exciting. I cook. I take my walks around the city. I run errands. I do receive the occasional cool thing. I take grumpy cat pics. One of the most exciting things lately has been that I got a seed box that I like online. I'm very pleased with. And and I've been like going through and renaming all of my own files that I have on my stuff that were incorrectly named or had duplicates. So yeah, it's been like a fucking riot here. At least for anything to share with people. That's everything. So, I think, the vegan place makes amazing avocado toast sandwiches. It's like 3 layers of toasty brown bread and avocado and mushrooms and tomatoes. It's a good breakfast. But that's everything that's going on. So I'm not gonna stretch this out any further. We're at 26 minutes and 30 seconds. So goodbye to all my Delta. Oh, I also wanted to say, with all the stuff with, being the 5-year anniversary last month of me being homeless intentionally, having my bag be my home rather than having, a typical apartment sort of arrangement. I wanted to give, a special shout out at the moment. I want to say thank you to all my friends and family who have helped in one way or another. Those who are back in the U.S., Deltas, non-Deltas, all y'all who have been helpful and supportive and put up with me and just put up with my time zone issues and, whatever. Thank you very much. Especially want to put out to Grant and Roxanne that they have over the years given so much help. Grant was like a huge part of helping me start this off, and he lets me use part of his attic, and he just, put a lot of effort into helping me out. Roxanne has been a total sweetheart, similarly, with helping me get stuff done there in the US and get things shipped, and I get to see her and stay with her and Harry each time that I come back to the US for my annual Delta visit. So I get to see her, and she also lets me store some of my, my stuff that I pick up souvenirs along the way. Not much. Like I said at the very beginning of all of this, I don't let myself just buy souvenirs for souvenirs. I get a fridge magnet for every place that I go. Every country or special landmark, but otherwise I don't let myself get something if it's really a special draw, which has been a very small amount of things. But basically, yeah, between letting me stay at their places, helping me with shipments of things, being people to bounce my head off, too, and help me while I'm in the US, help me when I'm not in the US. Y'all guys have been awesome. My Delta family as a whole, you guys have been such sweethearts and so understanding about things. And it's, it's truly wonderful when I do get to come back to the US and see you each year. and I look forward to the next time that is possible for all of us. And thank God for the internet, that so many people that I care about, that I've known from before this, and the few people that I've met along the way that are darlings. Thank God for the internet to keep us connected. So that's everything. 30-minute mark officially. Goodbye to all my deltas and anybody else who watches this.